Good morning, YouTube. So with today's video, I'm going to give you 5 great, classy, versatile, signature scents for the autumn and winter time. These are great for the colder season, and for the most part, these are all affordable. You might spend a little bit more money, and maybe like 50, 60 bucks at the most, but for the most part, these are all inexpensive. Now, first one is a classic that came out in 2004, and when I came into this community over 10 years ago, just watching, this was hyped, this was talked about for a very good reason. Barbados, the original. All right, now this kind of brings back a little bit of scent memories from like the golden age of Fragcom. I really miss those old days. This fragrance is deep, it's dark, it's a little resinous. It does have leather, it has amber, it's got dates, as in, you know, like dates that you eat. It's also got tamarind, which is like, it's, when you think of pad thai noodles, tamarind, it's a bit of an acquired taste, but also balsam fir, olibanum, and more. I feel like there's plum, like I always thought that there was plum in this one here, because like there's something sweet in it, and like caramel and vanilla are listed as notes, but I don't get that. I do get the leather, but it's smooth, it's more like suede. I do get the woods, the amber. I for sure get like the dates type thing. That itself does add a little bit of a fruity nuance, a little sweetness. But this scent here is actually quite classy and it's versatile. I don't want to say it's a bad boy, but it definitely has a little bit more of a playful, mature type of feel. Like, I'm an old guy. Like, I'm really not old. I'm middle aged. I'm 46. I know when to behave myself. I have a very goofy persona. Like, I'm very like silly and goofy with like the people that are closest with me, but I know how to turn on the charm and when I know how to be a gentleman. I really do. But it's kind of like this is a fragrance for like someone who's serious but knows when to kick back a little bit. This will go very well with a sense of style, but even more so with like a suit and tie. Longevity, this is Barbados. A lot of people do complain about the longevity, how they get no more than like 4 to 5 hours. I get about 6 to 7. Fragrance number 2, this is a great scent that came out in 06, I believe it is. And it's still from the brand of Barbados, but that's gonna be Barbados Vintage. When I hear the name or when I see my own bottle, I immediately think of Justin Copeland, Stay Fresh Productions, because JC loves this one, and you know what, I understand. This is a great scent. Now, this fragrance here is polar opposite than this one here. This one here does have that old school vintage feel, but it's modern. This does have quince and rhubarb. Quince does add a little bit of a sour citrus in the opening. You're gonna get that tart, earthy rhubarb. There's some lavender, some juniper berries, some cinnamon to warm it up a little bit, some orris to add a little bit, just a little bit of a creamy, not creamy, but like a slight powdery undertone, some suede, some tobacco, balsam fir, and other woods. This is just really good. Now, the lavender does add, I feel like it adds a little bit of a fougere feel. It does add a little bit of an old school touch. There is basil, of course, if I have not said it, and wormwood in the opening. But you are gonna get the rhubarb. You're gonna get that lavender, the juniper berries, the cinnamon, the tobacco. And that tobacco is like a dry tobacco. It's not like in your face, it's more in the background. Super classy, gentleman-like. This will go very well with a black tee and a leather jacket, all the way to a tuxedo. There is a little hint of a mysterious vibe to it, a little bit of a bad boy feel, maybe a little bit of an edge, but all the way to a very classy, old school kind of gentleman. So tuxedo. Longevity off this one here is gonna be about 6 to 7 hours as well. Fragrance number 3, this is gonna be the oldest one in this list, and at the time when I smelled this years ago, I really did not appreciate it, but as I get older now and my tastes do evolve, like for the most part, I'm a simple kind of guy. I prefer my freshies and just a simple way of life. But this does smell rich, even though you're not spending a lot of money for it. It lasts a long time. And this is an EDT concentration. It's not the EDP, but it came out in '98. That's going to be Boucheron's Jaipur Pura. In the opening, there's like lemon and lime. There's a little bit of cinnamon and cardamom that do warm it up. There's also some carnation, some rose, a little jasmine. I don't really get a lot of the florals. There is a little of a floral touch there, but there's also going to be like some benzoin, some patchouli, some cedar, and so on. I also feel like there's a vanillic accord, like vanilla. There's something sweet in this, and it's not the tonka bean. There is tonka bean in this, but I just get a bit of a creamy, smooth vanilla for some reason. And there is also a bit of a powdery undertone. This does smell a little old school, but it does have a little bit of a modern touch like this one here. I would say that this is a modern day classic, in my opinion, and my tastes have evolved a little bit. I, at one time, hated this fragrance, but now I love it. You do have to be easy on the applications, as this one does, as this can be rather heavy. Like 3 sprays and like this room is already filled. And again, once again, it's EDT concentration. I also feel like, and this is just my opinion, because of like the vanillic accord, that powdery undertone, and maybe on some people the florals might come out a little bit more, that this in some ways can be a bit of a unisex fragrance. Now I'm going to say that it leans more towards the men, but not by a whole lot. And this is more of a gentleman's fragrance. There's nothing bad boy about this whatsoever, okay? I can't see a bad boy in a leather jacket with a cigarette in his mouth smelling like vanilla, smelling sweet. Absolutely not. But again, a little bit of warm spices, some sweet vanillic accord. Like maybe it's just me. I do get the woods, and with maybe like a smidge of florals. Fantastic fragrance. 8 to 9 hours is what I get. Almost forgot to state that benzoin does add that ambery touch. Fragrance number 4, this got a lot of hype back in the day, and when I mean back in the day, not so long ago. It came out in 2018, but man, has it gotten a lot of mention in like the first couple of years alone. Rojas Mustache Eau de Parfum. Now, the original came out in 1949. Okay, it's getting a little bit darker, so you might see the light change a little bit, but this smells really good. Like I was a little like, I don't want to say apprehensive, but I did not want to smell this one because I'm kind of like anti-hype. But this, just like the bottle itself, looks very old-fashioned, right? So I was expecting something extremely old school. It does have a little bit of an old-fashioned feel, but modern. Very much like, you know what? I'm losing my train of thought here. Like these two here. But I would just say that this is maybe a little bit, just a little bit more modern than the other two. There is pink pepper to warm it up. There is also cedar. There is a little rose in this. The rose does add a little bit of a gentleman's feel. There's vanilla, patchouli, and benzoin. So the benzoin does add a little bit of a resinous, ambery feel. The vanilla does sweeten it up, and the patchouli does add a bit of an earthiness, like an earthy woodiness to it. This smells a lot like YSL's Tuxedo, and I can't confirm that because I do have a decant that I haven't smelled in a little while. I'm saving it because the price tag of that is ridiculous, but this is pretty much YSL Tuxedo on a budget. Lasts a long time. This is like 9, 10, maybe a little bit more times. Like you might get 11 hours out of this one here. But this is more of something like this to a suit and tie, all the way to a tuxedo. This is not bad boy. The vanilla in this and that powdery undertone, because there is a little bit of a powdery undertone to this one, do not make this a bad boy fragrance at all. This is more of a gentleman's scent. And last but not least, this one here is discontinued, but you could still get it here and there, like MaximumFragrance.com or Maximum Deals, whatever it's called. But as well, PerfumeOnline.ca, and for a while, actually no, not for a while, for a couple of years, I was labeled as the Ferrari guy. I also said that I was the brand ambassador for Ferrari, just without a paycheck. But that's going to be Ferrari Amber Essence. You could still get it. You know, this is discontinued. The entire lineup is discontinued. Even like the Scuderia line. I don't know why, because for what you're spending. This was like $30. On perfumeonline.ca, $46 Canadian. That's under $40 USD, guys. It's still worth it in my opinion, but this does have coriander, olibanum. It's got like some citruses, amber, patchouli, musk, and I believe cinnamon. Make it nutmeg. It's not cinnamon, it's nutmeg. I just looked at the notes, but you do get more coriander than nutmeg. You are most certainly going to get that olibanum and the amber itself and the wood. So the wood's going to be like a patchouli, but as well that cashmere wood. And there's a bit of a musky undertone towards the base. This, a lot of people say it's not as ambery, but I feel like it is. It's more of a resinous amber, and there's a little bit of a balsamic-y feel to it. Great scent. This, out of the entire video, is going to be like the most bad boy fragrance. You know, you could dress this with a leather jacket and a black tee. This just might stain a white tee. But at the same time, you could wear this all the way to a tuxedo. It's very masculine, but it's very gentlemanly as well. And longevity is going to be about 7 to 8 hours. And guys, that's it. That is 5 great versatile signature scents for the autumn and winter time. These are all affordable, but get this while you can, because in due time, just like the leather essence from Ferrari, which is a phenomenal scent, probably like my favorite out of the bunch, is probably going to go up to like $150, $200 on eBay. It ain't worth that price tag. Even leather essence, as much as I think it's like a 10 out of 10, it ain't worth the price tag. So get on it while you can. I'm pretty sure that you can get a decant off of like myfragrancesamples.com, decantboutique.com, and so on. In the reviews that I've done on these, if you want a little bit more description, or a little bit more detail, I should say, they will all be down in the description box below. If you like this very video, please leave me one of these. And whatever pops up right here, I recommend that you check out. All right, so thank you for your time, take care, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody.